It never fails. Every time we get to this time of year, every year, I get loads of comments showing up in the comment section of my videos saying, "Must be nice to have money. Wish I had as much money as you do. Man, you must be wealthy." I'm not a very rich guy. The impression I get from these commenters is one that, I think a lot of people go through around this time of year when they start to feel like they don't have what they need to accomplish the things that they want. For some people, the things that they need. And so I thought I needed to address this. Because for one, I am not somebody with a lot of money. But I have a few ideas for you, and I think they'll be helpful. But for you to take me seriously, and for me to take this topic seriously, I need to lose the robe and the cheesy Santa hat. So as I was saying, I'm not a very rich person. I don't have a ton of money. In fact, it has taken us years to get our homestead to the point that it is today. And a lot of it came from a lot of hard work. Something that I think we take for granted in this country is that we live in America, which is a land of opportunity. It's a country that was founded on principles of opportunity, a fair opportunity for all. And we tend to look at each other's opportunities and say, hey, I didn't get that opportunity, that's not fair. But the reality is that we all have different types of opportunities that come to us in different ways. And it's up to us. Zeus, hush it. It's up to us to figure out how to take those opportunities and how to capitalize on those opportunities. But in all fairness, for some of us, we start to utilize our opportunities at Zeus! When I was 14 years old, I told my parents that when I got out of school every day, I wanted to get a job and I wanted to earn some money. So I had a scoutmaster who would pick me up and he would take me to Gary David Designs. It was a interior design company in Florida. And I worked as a stock boy. I would keep track of the stock. I wanted to learn a thing or two about investing, so I took all of the money that I earned at that job and I invested it into stocks. In fact, I was probably the only 14-year-old you've ever met that had their own subscription to the Wall Street Journal, and I would sit there and scroll the stocks and pick ones that I liked. I guess back then I would have been more of a Buffett investor because I only picked household staple names that I knew, and I invested all of the money that I was making off of that job. Now that actually might have been 12 or 13 because I was in middle school at the time. Nobody told me I had to do that. I wanted to do it. It was something I understood how the system worked and I knew what it took to get there. And so I started at a very young age. And then when I got into high school, I went away to high school. I couldn't have a job because I was away at school. I did lifeguard at the school on weekends, but it was tough to have a job. So on every single break that I came home from school over high school, I went and I got a job and I worked at that job. I worked for a dry cleaning business folding clothes. Now the owner of the dry cleaning business liked me so much he'd throw me $100 to clean his car or a couple $100 to clean his boat, and I took every job he gave me and I worked my tail off. That's the way I was in high school. When I got into college, I wasn't so adamant about working, but most of the funds that I had earned in middle school and high school, I had invested, and actually in high school, I used those funds to buy my first car. My siblings always gave my parents a hard time because I had a car several years before they ever got a car. But it's because I saved that money up, I invested it, and I pulled out just enough to buy my first car. It was a minivan off my uncle. But again, when I got into college, I wasn't so ambitious. I focused on schoolwork and other things. Of course, I took 5 years to graduate college, so by the time I actually graduated, I had a lot of debt. I had very little funds left in that investment account, and when I got my first job, my parents dropped me off at my new apartment with the $1,500 check that was left in the investment account. So I didn't start off on my own with a whole lot, but I still had something because I started at a young age. But the most important thing that I got in all those years of saving up, investing, working hard, is that I created a work ethic within myself. I knew what it took to get the things that I wanted. I knew how to do it. So by the time I entered into the workforce, I already knew what it took. My first job out of college paid $18,000 a year. That's right, with a college education, I was making $18,000 a year. However, the job did entail commissions. It was up to me to earn the rest of the money. So that first year that I signed that $18,000 a year contract, I made over 30. The second year, I made over 50. The third year, I made over 80. So within 3 years out of college, here I was with a salary that only paid about $18,000 a year, yet I was earning over $80,000 a year because I knew how to work. Now my first job was in real estate, commercial real estate, and when 2007 hit, the market got really soft. And here I was trying to earn commissions in a very soft market with a very low income. And to make matters worse, the employer came and cut my income in half. But at that point in time, I had spent my entire life working, and I knew what it would take to earn an income. So I quit my job, and I went and started my own business, a commercial real estate company. And I ran that business for 8 years, and I worked hard at that job. I had employees, I worked for contracts, but eventually that system failed as well. It failed not just because of me, but because of the market. The market was changing. Things change. Everything is constantly changing in the economy. We no longer had a commercial real estate market where I was working that was based on local investment and local ownership. It became institutionalized. There was no place for a small company like mine. As I was trying to figure out my next career move, we bought this land, and I got married to my wife. When we bought this land, I had been working for 8 years as an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur had a lot of expenses because it's expensive to be an entrepreneur. I couldn't qualify for much of a loan, so when we wanted to have a farm and land, we found this place, a rundown old house built in the 1900s on 30 acres of land. We bought the land and not the house. The house was a bonus, if you'd call it that. We were able to borrow enough on the top of the loan to start the renovations on the house, but we couldn't finish the renovations on the house. So here I was in a career transition, very low on funds, a brand new mortgage, a brand new wife, and to make things even more complicated, my wife, while we were living in a camper building the house with our other 2 kids, became pregnant with our third. Due to some complications, she was put on bed rest, and she lost her job. We didn't have enough funds to finish building our house. I had a wife and a camper who was on bed rest with my third kid. I was flat broke, and I didn't have a job. But you know what? I knew what it took. I knew that it would take a lot of work, and this time, a whole lot of prayer. So that's what we did. We started working. We started this YouTube channel, in fact, and we started praying. It's been another 6 years since that time has passed. And I'm still not rich. I still don't have a lot of money. I still don't have the income that I used to have. And in fact, since I've been telling the truth on YouTube, my income has actually gone down, just like a lot of other channels, because people don't like it when we tell the truth. Not you guys, other people. So here we are, 2020, with everybody else. Their world's been turned upside down, and ours has never really gotten back to where it was. But I can tell you, I'm one of the wealthiest people I know. I'm one of the wealthiest people I know because over the past 6 years, I've learned a lot of things. I've not only learned how to work for others, how to earn an income, but I've also learned how to replace my income by going out and repairing things instead of replacing them, by learning to cut my grocery bill considerably by becoming more self-reliant, by being an American, by looking at the opportunities that are in front of me, grabbing onto them, and taking advantage of them. I'm a far wealthier person than I ever have been because of my family, because of the knowledge that I have built, because of my ability to repair things. I never get stuck anymore. I've built a house, rebuilt numerous pieces of machinery. I've built a workshop. I've done it all with these 2 hands and this mind. And you know what? You guys can do it too, because every opportunity that I have seen that I have come into, I think you can find. We may find it in different ways. We may find the end resources in different ways, but they're always there. For every single one of us, the opportunity to turn the next page in our chapter is somewhere right in front of us. We just have to look for it. We have to figure out how to put it to use. That, my friends, is the right to prosperity. It's the right of opportunity to pursue happiness. And every single one of you has it. Even if you are incapable of physically getting out and doing the work. Today we have these technological advances that work so much against us, but they can also work for us. See what I'm talking about here? I tell you what, If you go out and you start making videos, if you say to me, I have nothing else I can do, and I tell you, you know what, take your cell phone, set it somewhere. If you have a hobby, film it, teach me how to do it. If you do it, and you've practiced up on a few videos, and you've started to build a library, and you need some help getting some exposure, I'll give you a shout out. I'll let people know you're there. Consider me an opportunity. I don't mind helping you guys out because you guys help me out. Without you guys, what would I be? I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't be anywhere. I'm still not making a ton of money. I can tell you with 60,000 subscribers, you don't make a whole lot of money. It's far less than what I was used to before. But the amount of money that I have made up by replacing all the things I used to spend money on. Instead of, buying a new car, I rebuilt my old Tahoe, and then I bought an old truck. I don't have any payments on my cars. Instead of buying a new four-wheeler, my daughter and I rebuilt my old four-wheeler. Instead of buying a new tractor, I continually rebuild my tractor. I still love a new tractor, by the way. When I need something new, I barter for it. Why not, right? If you actually consider how much money I save now from building knowledge, from growing food, from being able to repair things on my own, from bartering for products, I probably actually make more than I used to. And the best part about it is the quality of my life is so much more than a 9-to-5. I spend so much more time with my family. I am not going to be one of those people who look back someday and say, man, I missed it all. But the next person who comments below, fair warning, if you start commenting below, man, I wish I could do that, man, it must be nice having so much money, I am going to reach through that computer screen and give you a big smack on the side of the head, because there is absolutely no reason why you can't get out there and start to do the exact same thing I am doing, in your own way, on your own journey. This is America. Don't be afraid to do it. The only ones who are trying to make you think that you can't do something are the ones that are marching around in the streets arguing that they need to be given more. You don't need to be given more. You just need to figure it out. And figuring it out just takes a little bit of peace of mind and resourcefulness.